गया भाई अपना। ये जो हमारा ये बड़ी जबरदस्त चीज है भाई हमारे शो की, कि हम बातचीत कर रहे होते हैं एकदम से लाइव आ जाता है, तो मतलब उस टाइम जो बातें चल रही होती हैं वो बाहर आ जाती हैं। और अभी क्या बात आई बाहर जी, देखिए हमारे भाई ने ऐसे ऐन मौके पे अपनी शक्ल फ्रीज करके दी है कि सब अच्छी तरह से सिकाई कर सकते हैं उनकी शक्ल की। क्योंकि मैंने क्या बोला, मैंने कहा भाई मुंह धो के आ जाना। अब आप मुझे बताओ, चैट में हमारे साथ जो लड़के वड़के जुड़े हुए थे, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस ऑन द शो। am I messing around with my brother Siddhant, or am I saying the right thing? देखो जी, हंसी मजाक तो हमारे शो में चलते रहती है, but this is the morning after. The morning after Mumbai City FC's debut in the Asian Champions League group stages. They played versus Al Shabab of Saudi Arabia and they were beaten convincingly 3-0 on the night. It could have been a war because भाई थोड़ी finishing मामले में वो भी थोड़े हल्के थे, हम ये कह सकते हैं। पर पूरा गेम उन्होंने कंट्रोल किया। फर्स्ट 20 मिनट्स ऐसा लगा कि भाई मुंबई गेम में आया है, पर अगर आप देखें फर्स्ट 20 मिनट्स को, तो शबाब ने भी थोड़ा पीछे हटे हुए थे। वो भी असेस कर रहे थे अपने ओपोनेंट्स को, क्या है, क्या कर रहे हैं, और उसके बाद से चढ़े हैं। तो भाई उसके बाद वो पुरानी कहानी जो इंडियन फुटबॉल की हमें अक्सर देखने को मिलती है कि जब बाहर जाते हैं देशों में वर्सेस हायर रैंक्ड ओपोनेंट्स, तो फिर वही किस्म की फुटबॉल दिखती है, हड़बड़ी वाली फुटबॉल दिखती है कि जी पास ढूंढो, काउंटर अटैक पे खेलो। डिसीजन मेकिंग में थोड़ा कमी, लेकिन देयर वर पॉजिटिव्स। ऐसा नहीं है कि हम यहाँ पे नेगेटिव भंडार लेके आए हैं, देयर वर पॉजिटिव्स। एंड टू टॉक अबाउट द पॉजिटिव्स, द नेगेटिव्स एंड व्हाटएवर वी गॉट आउट ऑफ इट, we've got a star cast today. The star cast is two people have only joined me so far, two more are expected. Former India captain Renedy Singh, Jaydeep Basu is with us on the show. Siddhant अपना मुंह धो के आ गए हैं। Annie मेरे दोस्त, good to see you भाई. And Ishfaq Ahmed will be joining us shortly as well. Renedy bhai, since you look like you've had 10 baths and come, you're looking fresh as ever. कैसा लगा आपको रेनेडी भाई? वाज इट अ सिमिलर स्टोरी जो अक्सर हमें सुनने को मिलता है कि स्टार्टेड वेल, मोमेंट्स में थोड़ा देखने को मिला, लेकिन दैट्स इट, थैंक यू, बाय बाय।
Yeah, but then again, we have to know that हम लोग किसके साथ खेल रहे हैं, true. We cannot just start thinking about winning against these people. For sure, against this player, top class quality player in Asia. And Mumbai is not the same Mumbai what जो 2 साल पहले था या 1 साल पहले था. And we have seen मुंबई का परफॉर्मेंस लास्ट ईयर, it wasn't that great. वो मुंबई का जो फ्लूइडिटी हो रहा था, इतना अच्छा गेम खेल रहा था, वो नहीं चल रहा था. And there are a lot of players who are still, I feel that they need many more games to play in that level. अब अभी जैसा अभी गुरकीरत जैसा को भी आपने कोच ने चांस दिया है from a player like Bikram, who I'm not criticizing Bikram because he in the first half you see the effort that he has given. He was chasing down every single ball, but whenever we have the ball, हड़बड़ी like आपने जैसा बोला, हड़बड़ी, and you have seen that जैसे अल शबाब ने जो खेला है, they dictate the pace of the game.
Yes.
जब चाहे लोग फास्ट कर दे रहा था, जब चाहे स्लो कर दे रहा था. And who do we have to control the game? Only one or two player fall, और जाहू ने तो अकेला कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकता. It's a team game. So immaturity दिखा गया है. I'm not, all the junior players, they're getting a chance to play in this platform is the best thing they can ever ask for. But to expect something that यही player लोग को खिला के to win, I think we still have got a long way. So we have to give more matches, and this is the first step.
Exactly. जयदीप सर, अब मैंने ना हाल ही में क्योंकि इतने सारे यंग लड़के हैं जो कैमरा लगा के अपने शो कर रहे हैं फुटबॉल के, उनमें से एक लड़का है, his name is Football Geek. This was like about 2-3 weeks back. He had asked me to come and have a chat with him on the show, and very enthusiastically, and I'm not saying it in a bad way. He's saying Mumbai is going to play the Champions League. We're expecting so much. Goa gave a good performance. I said, दोस्त देखो, पहली बात है कि पहली बारी खेल रहे हो. दूसरी बात ये है कि हमारी टीम जहाँ पे है, चैंपियंस लीग तो छोड़ ही दो, मैच जीतना छोड़ दो अभी की बात. अभी हम उस फेज पे हैं कि हम मोमेंट्स को गिनते हैं. हम वहां हैं कि जी 7 मिनट अच्छा खेले, 5 मिनट वहां अच्छा खेले, वो देखो उस लड़के ने कुछ किया है. अभी हम वहां हैं. मैच को डिक्टेट करना, मैच को डोमिनेट करना, मैच को जीतना, हम तो बहुत दूर हैं सर वहां पर. रियलिटी तो ये है.
True.
Yeah, that is true, Arjun. What you have said is you have said. I am very grateful to you for one reason, that you have not asked me one question that what positive we have taken from this game.
Annie ke liye
This one question has been abused in Indian football so many times in the last few years. and people with so much axe to grind will always hide behind this positives. So see, there was, which Renedy said is right, there was no match actually. The other team was far superior team. That was evident from the first 5 minutes. देखिए हमारा क्या था, 5-10 मिनट में हमारा 2 चांस था, मतलब बॉक्स में गया और लास्ट में एक बार बॉक्स में we entered. I think we entered the box 3 or 4 times, not more than that. I may be wrong, maybe थोड़ा इधर उधर, whatever. So there was absolutely no, if you say no chance, there was no chance for the simple reason that the difference between the two teams were very high. And Mumbai FC, I am not sure why they played with 3 foreigners. They could have played with 1 more foreigner. That Mauricio was
not available.
Mauricio was on the he could, but again perhaps they wanted a defender. If he had another foreigner, he could have played him as a defender. Perhaps, I don't know, because he played with three Indians in the defense. And as Renedy says, Fall and Ahmed Jau, the 2 players were playing well. You said, or Renedy said? One of you said. Renedy Bhai said. Ahmed Jau, of course, I liked Ahmed Jau. He was trying, but otherwise we had no chance. Whether it is Vikram, whether it is Vipin, or anybody. So I think we should thank ourselves that we did not lose by more goals. I thought we could have lost by a couple of more goals. And after the 80th minute, after scoring the 3rd goal in the 70th minute, they almost put the shutter down. They didn't want to score anymore, and their quality of their foreigners were also very good. That Banega boy though is, of course, he has become a bit slow, I think, but
he's a long side of 30 pe wo.
He is a terrific player. The way he
World Cup khela hai, pata nahi kya kya.
World Cup khela, and if he has played for Argentina, I saw for 65 times he has played for Argentina. It means something. He can't be dismissed as one of the. So at the end of the day, the difference between the two teams were exposed. The result could have been worse for the Indian side, and the next 2 matches they are going to play, which against, I think, Iraq Air Force and Al Jazeera. Iraq Air Force has beaten Al Jazeera 2-1, I think, yesterday. So those 2 games are going to be even tougher, I think. So if from the entire group they can come back with 1 point, that would be quite an achievement, I think.
Positive. मैं सर, आप एक बात भूल गए हो कि सिद्धांत और मैं ना आर्सेनल के फैंस हैं. तो आर्सेनल के जो फैंस होते हैं ना, वो दुख में भी पॉजिटिव ढूंढते हैं, क्योंकि उनको सच में ट्रॉफी उनकी वही है. उनको आसपास और कुछ मिलना है नहीं, तो हम तो यही ढूंढते हैं. मेरे भाई बताओ, हमारे जो पॉजिटिव्स हैं, छोटे छोटे पॉजिटिव्स होते हैं. हाँ जी, इस लड़के ने थोड़े मोमेंट्स में दिखाया, जैसे रेंडी भाई ने बात करी विक्रम की. विक्रम मेरे को फर्स्ट हाफ में अच्छा लगा, एफर्ट मार रहा था, जो भी कर रहा था, डिस्टर्ब कर रहा था उनको. हाँ, बॉल आ रही थी, बॉल रख रहा था, ओवर आउट नहीं हो रहा था, राइट. फिर वो पूरी टीम ही चढ़ी आपके ऊपर, तो आपकी पूरी टीम ओवर आउट होगी उसके बाद. यू नो, नॉट द सेम कैन बी सेड अबाउट Bipin. Bipin looked off from the word go. He just didn't make it, and it was surprising that you've taken out Vikram and not Bipin. You should have taken out Bipin if anything.
He was on 1 yellow card.
Yeah.
Vikram was on yellow card, and chances of getting two yellow card was very obvious, and then it was a good decision.
Okay, Renedy. I didn't see that. My bad for that.
Also
Changte also. Changte, अक्सर Changte को जो हम देखते हैं यहाँ पे, Changte ने तो लाइन पे प्लॉट खरीद लेता है. वो लाइन पे आप बॉल फेंकते हो तो Changte दिखेगा, अंदर Changte नहीं दिखेगा. आज की गेम में, मतलब रात की गेम में क्या था, Changte बीच में आ रहा था ओवरलोड करने के लिए.
I think they were trying to play him through the middle.
मतलब बीच में भी आ रहा था, बाहर भी जा रहा था. It was nice to see that he's getting involved in play.
Yeah, but again, I mean, it's hard to find positives there from these kind of situations. I guess it's a positive that Mumbai City didn't lose by 5 goals. That was what I was thinking might happen. So it's a positive that it was only 3-0 in the end. That some of the young players who came on were not overawed by the scenario, by the reputation of some of the players that they were playing against, including, like you guys mentioned, Eva Benega and all of that. You saw Vikram Pratap and him having a bit of a tiff, where of course he said, I'm sorry and all that for that ridiculous tackle. It was an unnecessary tackle.
No, not unnecessary भाई. गया अंदर अच्छी तरह गया लड़का वो बॉल के लिए. अरे प्रेशर वो नहीं डालेगा तो कौन डालेगा वहाँ पे स्टॉपर पे?
हाँ ठीक है, नहीं ठीक है जो भी है, बट टाइमिंग ठीक नहीं था, जो भी था, he was off the pace.
नहीं, वो गुस्से में था क्योंकि उससे पहले वो उसको कोनी मार के गया है बनेगा को, तो वो वहां से वो खुन्नस लेके चल रहा था कि ये फिर तो तू कर रहा है. He was saying that.
So ठीक है, the boy stood his ground, he did his bit, but like in the end, like you guys have already said, I mean, there's not much more to it. The gap is massive. It's a little bit. Unfortunately, we were expecting more. Maybe based on Goa's performance in the group stage last time round, but they had the advantage in Goa at that time of playing at home. It was a different kind of scenario with the pandemic just starting up. Everything was in a bubble. On this occasion, playing in Riyadh, even tougher. The only fans, I guess, very few Indian Mumbai City fans. Most of the fans who were there were supporting the locals.
Camera person ने चार Indian पकड़े हुए थे, उनको दिखाया जा रहा था हर बार.
हाँ नहीं, कुछ तो होंगे, I guess, in the crowd, but playing the home side, I mean, hard to see any positives really.
Renedy bhai, of all the Indian boys, and ये chat में भी बात हो रही है, I kind of agree with them. Mehtab Singh looked good at the position which he was playing. You can't expect him to suddenly, start dominating the strikers in front of him. Because at the end of the day, there's only that much he can do. But जब भी tackles के लिए जा रहा था, he looked sure of what he was doing. बीच-बीच में mistakes करे, but थोड़े glimpses भी दिखाए हैं उसने. अच्छा खेला है वो. Stopper back पे.
Yeah, hello.
For you, Renedy bhai. आपको आवाज नहीं आई मेरी?
Oh yeah. Okay, आवाज थोड़ा बंद हो गया था. Mehtab, I feel that same. All the Indian players except Mauya, who can control the pace and who is more calm, who the player he is much more calmer than anyone. So Mehtab, I feel that if you see the first goal or is the second goal, उसने outside, no, the first goal अब जो penalty हुआ, अगर आप देखेगा तो मेहताब ने offside trap करने के लिए गया and he was late. Goalkeeper have to rush. So all these small decisions, or every time a final tackle, तो maturity दिखा नहीं गया. Yes, effort के हिसाब से, like I said, 100%. Everyone has given 100%. And positive यही है हम लोग का ये मैच से कि we have played well in patches. थोड़ा दो तीन सेकंड खेल रहा था, like चांगटे ने एक दो को ड्रिबल कर, लेकिन कोई फाइनल रिजल्ट नहीं है. But for me, मेहताब, I feel that काफी matured है अभी भी ये type of game खेलने के लिए. So we need, like दादा ने जैसा बोल रहा था, if you want to win a game, at least और foreigner stopper खेलने से अच्छा होता था मेरा ख्याल से. But no doubt Indian player को chances मिला है. But then I think you need to play many more games in ISL so that in another 3-4 years he'll be ready to play this. But again, it's a good platform for him. But I feel they still have to go a long way. Immaturity, काफी immature है अभी भी game में.
यहाँ पे Des Buckingham ने, I remember, before the start of their campaign, said we want to become the first team to win a game in the Champions League. 5 more games to go. Looks a daunting task. Looks an extremely daunting task. सर ने तो एक पॉइंट बोल दिया, मतलब आप कह रहे हो कहीं से एक ड्रॉ निकल गया. वो वाला दिन हुआ सर कि मतलब ट्राई करे जा रहे हो, मतलब क्या कहते हैं, टारगेट पे नहीं जा रही, सब गोलकीपर के हाथ पे जा रही है. वो वाले दिन की आप बात कर रहे हो ना, कि आपने मतलब होल्ड किया और एक पॉइंट आ गया.
हाँ मतलब, but I think holding any of this team will also be a very huge credit. If Al Shabab, if the other two teams are as good, and we know they are as good because that Air Force team is three-time AFC Cup champions. They are, even the Al Jazeera, of course, all we know how good they are. Even holding them to 1 point, I think that is going to be a huge achievement, because these teams are not easy to hold. If Al Shabab is an example who can place so many passes on the front and put so much pressure and take so many people to attack at one go, तो holding them to a draw, वो थोड़ा इधर-उधर करके draw करना भी मुश्किल ही लग रहा है मुझे. लेकिन अगर कर लिया तो मेरे ख्याल से तो वो बहुत अच्छा होगा. बहुत I will appreciate. At least I will like that.
Renedy bhai, were you surprised? I don't know if you noticed this. Whenever Jahu was getting the ball, he was trying to play through to Gabriel. in the middle. Gabriel अंदर आ रहा था, ball चला रहा था, and then they were trying to find Bipin or Vikram making runs and doing that. एक वो तरीका होता है कि जी आपने ये करते जाओ, but it gets a little obvious after a point of time, you know, कि आप कितनी बारी वो करते रहोगे. Are you surprised that we still don't do this place where you're loading left side आपने सब लोड कर दिया, जो right side का बंदा है वो बाहर खड़ा होता है, you know, to open play.
Yeah.
And they tried doing this post 80th minute. They pushed it out to Changte, वो गया, फिर full back अंदर आया, overlap हुआ, थोड़ा game बना. You know, were you surprised they didn't try doing that earlier? Was it just a lack of confidence कि जी मैं नहीं देने वाला, मैं इसको अंग्रेज को ही दूंगा और वो चलाएगा ब्राजीलियन जो
of course, a lack of confidence hota hai, and Changte is a guy who have just joined Mumbai. Ab thoda match ka aage, and they still need time. You know, to have that, you know, understanding between, you know, of course, foreigner ko लगता है कि हाँ, even though I feel that Gabriel ने ऐसा कुछ किया नहीं है, लेकिन Gabriel को pass जैसा जा रहा था आपने, you know, on the right side he could have given. But अगर if you see the game yesterday, possession wise में ज़्यादा difference नहीं है, because हम लोग middle third में काफी 2-3 passes 4 passes खेल रहा था. It's only when we go to the final third, आप जैसा बोला बिपिन कुछ चल रहा नहीं था, बिपिन कुछ उतना कुछ किया नहीं है कल. So final third में हम लोग मार खा जा रहा था, and when we start from the back, और हम when we start from the back अगर देखा जाएगा लांचनपा कितना टेंशन में था और कि वो कभी-कभी इतना फंबल कर रहा था, even the goal. So ये लेवल में ऐसा दिखना नहीं चाहिए कि गोलकीपर has to be more confidence ये लेवल में. वो दिखाया नहीं. अगर देखेगा लांचनपा जब बॉल पकड़ा है, he of course yes, 1 or 2 saves. इतना अटैक आया, 2-3 तो सेव किया है, तो उसके चलते से 5 या 6 नहीं हुआ है. लेकिन at the same time whenever he have the ball, we could see that वो काफी tense है. लेकिन and that's the advantage for the opponent कि इतना अगर गोलकीपर ही अगर शेकी होगा तो you know the whole defender
it transfers,
it becomes a trouble for the defender. Yeah, so it was a difficult game, but at the same time step by step जाना पड़ेगा. But like you said, you know, पहला confidence तो कम ही होगा, because for after a long time, for the first time you are playing against such big team, it takes time. But first half I would say that उतना opening दिखाई नहीं दिया जो second half में जो खुल गया है, अगर if you see that.
बहुत बुरी तरह खोला उन्होंने सेकंड हाफ में, तो बहुत ज्यादा खोला उन्होंने. But am I the only one who feels there is a question mark on the penalty? And because you know why, when I put it out on Twitter to promote the show, when I put it out on Instagram, मैं जानबूझ के मैं डाल रहा था was it a penalty question mark, ताकि थोड़ा मुझे सेंस मिले कि am I the only one. किसी ने रिप्लाई नहीं किया, because if you see the replay again, he has fallen before the box, before the DA started. Secondly, one replay shows he's not even touched him. He's not even touched him. But did you guys get this sense कि आपको लगा, because मेरे को और कोई मिल ही नहीं रहा who's kind of agreeing with what I'm saying. I don't think it was a penalty. You heard on audio, the audio was caught at the bench where Des Buckingham was also saying this is not a penalty. Not a penalty. No VR, ठीक है, no PR. But Renedy भाई, आपको क्या लगा? No penalty or penalty for you from where you saw it? Whichever angles you saw. And what did you make?
मेरे को फर्स्ट एंगल से लगा पेनल्टी है, बट एट द सेम टाइम रीप्ले जब दिखा रहा था तो मे बी देयर इज चांसेस. बट फॉर मी इज व्हाई फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मेहताब हैव टू डू अ ऑफसाइड ट्रैप, एंड सेकंड व्हाई गोलकीपर अगर बॉल किस तरफ, आप बॉल का एंगल देखो, वो कॉर्नर फ्लैग का तरफ जा रहा था, व्हाई लांचनपा हैव टू रश. द सेकंड थिंग इज वो बचा भी सकता था. अच्छा हुआ पेनल्टी हो के रेड कार्ड. हाँ, so the first thing is how we could have stopped, अगर थोड़ा सा अच्छा डिफेंडिंग करके स्टॉपर, अगर if मेहताब was more sensible, अपना जगह में खड़ा होता तो वो सिचुएशन बनता नहीं था. एंड सेकंड, लांचनपा you know is still immature, तो उसने काफी रश किया, ऐसा रश किया है कि पूरा दुनिया को दिखा रहा है कि हाँ देखो हम मार रहा है, इवन दो लाइक यू सेड रिप्ले में वो टच नहीं करने से भी. एंड प्ले एक्टिंग का अगर बोलेगा तो you know if you see this Latin American, we all know that how good are they you know in play acting, and रेफरी इज नॉट a भगवान तो नहीं है, तो कभी लगता है कि वो एंगल से पेनल्टी है. मेरे को तो लगता है वो पेनल्टी है.
आपको लगा? बिकॉज मैं आई वाज सरप्राइज्ड, इट्स नॉट अ क्लियर पेनल्टी. ओके, लेट्स एग्री ऑन दैट. इट वाज नॉट अ क्लियर पेनल्टी, ऑब्वियस पेनल्टी जिसे कहते हैं. एंड फ्रॉम आई एम थिंकिंग फ्रॉम अ ब्रॉडकास्टिंग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू सर, बिकॉज व्हेन यू आर इन ब्रॉडकास्ट, व्हाटएवर द कंटेंशियस डिसीजंस ऑफ अ गेम आर, you play them over and over again, right? Because that tells you the story of the game. This is how it started. I did not see a single replay आफ्टर दैट. हॉटस्टार पे गया हूँ सुबह, फिर मैंने देखा कि अपना गधा ना बनाऊं बोलने के लिए, तो फिर मैंने देखा और फिर मैंने अच्छी तरह वो एंगल देखा और मेरे को लगा हाँ कि ये पेनल्टी नहीं है. सर आपको क्या लग रहा है जहां से आप देख रहे थे? डिड यू थिंक पेनल्टी और यू अग्री विद मी? आप म्यूट हो सर.
I think शुरू में मुझे लगा it's a penalty, but again the referee doesn't have the advantage of seeing a replay, which I had, of course. Then doubts had in my mind. And again, as Renedy said, I'm very I agree with Renedy to a great extent. The goalkeeper had no business to go there. As it is, the attacker went to an acute angle. It could have gone out. At least the goalkeeper could have, because he rushed out in a manner which was uncalled for. So and his intentions were not too good. मुझे लगा कि his intentions were, see, intentions you cannot say sitting here, but मुझे जो लगा कि his intentions were not good. And penalty or no penalty, Mumbai FC had to concede a goal. The pressure was, because the pressure was telling. The pressure was telling.
Moment, I'm saying.
The pressure was telling. So overall, I would side with the referee. Because not that this penalty has completely changed the scenario of the game. It is not that there is a huge difference between this has decided the trophy. Not that. It was obvious. The result was obvious, and their referee thought it's a penalty. He has given it. So if even a striker from the 6-yard box can balloon over the crossbar, and we can say that chalo aisa to ho jata hai. Let's take it as the referee also aisa ho jata hai. But decision hasn't made any huge effect on the match. That much I can say.
Sir,
it had to come in this way.
एनी भाई पेनल्टी लेने गया था, तब वापस आ गया. भाई पहले ये बता, गोल मार के आए हो कि नहीं मार के आए हो, और उसके बाद ये बता दो कि आपको क्या लगता है, पेनल्टी नो पेनल्टी. एंड यू हैड द बेनिफिट ऑफ द रीप्ले irrespective. We are assessing it, we're we're analyzing it, so you take every replay into account.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately there was no VAR. I guess you guys already chatted about that, so the referee didn't have the benefit of any replays. I mean, I'm inclined to agree with what Jaydeep said. At first sight, from the see, again, the television angle is the only view we really get in real time, right? So the way it looked from that angle, from where we were seeing it at home, it looked like a penalty. Replays, you're saying that it's not a penalty. He didn't touch him. The guy went down. All of that.
The box as well.
So no, I mean, it looked like the player was definitely inside the box. That much from the replay, I could make out. How much contact was there, I'm not sure. But like, again, this is part of gamesmanship, or part of the learning process that I guess strikers who play at a certain level regularly also learn when to go down, when not to go down. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, or there's, I mean, that player should be diving or whatever. But in that position, when you're one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and the keeper, essentially, he's kind of put himself in a position where he doesn't have a choice but to lunge for the ball, right? In that scenario, it's always going to be a question mark.
वो उस लड़के की पुरानी कहानी है. He's a little trigger happy. That's what you call them. I'm saying उस लड़के की पुरानी कहानी है. He's trigger happy.
Before my thing kind of went off, Renedy bhai, I think, was bringing up how Lachenpa, young goalkeeper, good for him. I think one of the major positives of all of this is that all these young guys will learn a lot from the mistakes they make, as well as from the positives that they do. They were trying to play from the back. There were a few times when his first touch was really like a little bit, I mean, not anywhere close to as soft and as sure as it should have been, you know. So there could have been a couple more chances that came out of that, trying to build from the back. And when they were also trying to build from the back, to what end they were trying to build, I didn't quite understand. So if you're going to give the ball to Jahu in the end, and he's going to launch a 50-yard ball anyway, or you're going to launch a ball down the flanks anyway, then building from the back in that sense doesn't really serve any purpose. And I think the minute Al-Shabab clocked that, they also started to push much higher up the pitch, and therefore all the more pressure was on Mumbai City thereafter. So, I mean, inclined to agree with both the opinions here, that whether or not it was a penalty, it really didn't have much of an impact in terms of the end result of this game.
But would you agree with the contentious? Would you agree with the contentious decision?
Yeah, man. Of course, yeah. Penalty decisions are always
So I don't understand this. You worked in broadcast. You worked in TV. Contentious decision should be shown over and over again in a 90-minute game. We didn't see
yeah.
any replay. कोई replay
I
नहीं
don't
देखा
know.
भाई.
Maybe it's a world
और ये
feed that's
Champions
going
League चल
out.
रहा है.
I'm not sure. Maybe it's a world feed that's going out. The commentary was definitely
But
very.
they're storytellers at the end of the day. World feed, India feed, Raipur feed, Kanpur feed. Anyone, they're all storytellers. They're presenting a story to the viewer.
यार भाई सही बात है. I agree with you, but इतना तो change हुआ है फुटबॉल ब्रॉडकास्टिंग में since the introduction of VAR ना. इतना तो बदली हुआ है कि जब डिसीजन थोड़ा 50-50 से कम होता है या उसमें बहुत ही ज्यादा कंटेंशन होता है या लाइक यू आर सेइंग अगर बिल्कुल ही कोई भी कांटेक्ट ही नहीं था तो in that case I think broadcasters are told not to show those replays again and point out the referee's errors also. It's a part of what modern broadcasting in football has become.
No, bhai. Seriously? Come on.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. Yeah. It doesn't happen in the UK.
No, in the UK now they have VAR, man. So you know, then like it's clear when it goes to the video assistant and the video assistant also then gives a contentious decision, then you can debate it day in day out पूरा दिन. वो आपके लिए फिर ड्रामा बन जाता है. But जब VAR नहीं है in play, तो I think वो थोड़ा बहुत है कि ज्यादा रेफरीज को गाली नहीं देना चाहिए फालतू में. तो वो थोड़ा सा शायद I don't know.
Fair point. मतलब हम सब भाई भाई बन के यहाँ पे चल रहा है गेम. मतलब ब्रॉडकास्टर का जो काम है, his game is to tell you the story of the game. If the referees made a mistake in the game, that's part of the story of the game. Simple सी बात है. That's part of the narrative that comes out from the game. इशफाक अहमद हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं. Sir, good to see you. आते ही दसो पेनल्टी नो पेनल्टी.
No penalty. Even if it is foul, it's outside.
You saw the third replay, na? The third replay told you.
No. Even the first moment I saw it, even like when it was live, I saw because I was watching till. These days I have to wake up at 3:30, so I cannot watch much football. So I was watching it live. I first instant that time only I felt it's outside because you can sense it like we eat and live football, so it's just that fraction of second that I felt it's not, and I clearly felt there was not enough. I thought the referee and even the linesman should have been, brave enough to.
They were
maybe
not brave.
Sometimes, under pressure, you are playing in Middle East. You are playing in Arab country and one of their home teams. Sometimes you do small favors like. It's very normal, but this is the football, mistakes. You commit mistakes, you get punished.
आप फिर गेम के बारे में बताओ sir, because we've already had a chat and the general consensus, I'm guessing you won't be much different, is that the gulf in difference between the two teams is so wide that this want for expecting a team from India to go and win in the Champions League is just it's a dream that's it's a number of years away. But we're far away from it right now. Would you agree?
It can happen but I'm a little bit disappointed with the Mumbai City FC, they had the time. Unfortunately, their striker they should have had earlier. They knew from the last year they're gonna play the Champions League. So the foreigners should have been sought out, which foreigner is gonna play where, and but it's their internal thing. I don't want to comment much on that. But I felt they badly missed one good striker up front who could have hold. They tried to play out and they did many times in patches. They played good football. They were brave to play in build up from the behind. Which was nice to see. Apuya was really nice. But then when they were in the attacking third, I think the decision making of some of our Indian players was really poor. I feel Bipin should have been doing a little bit better because he has now good experience to play international football also. So pace wise we were good, like some of the Indian players. They were matching the pace, which was really nice to see. But again, no one to hold up front, and the ball was immediately coming back. So I think that was the biggest problem for Mumbai. Like they came out from the tough. They used to come out from the tough situation behind when they used to press them high. And I tell you one more thing, I don't think Al-Shabab was that good also. Not taking away, like especially in pressing, but give credit to Mumbai FC. Definitely they tried to play from the behind. It was not like hitting the ball up front and then going and coming back. They kept the ball and playing in Saudi Arabia, which is like the host and the host team also from there only. So not bad. Like couple of times they could have done better, especially attacking. Like I felt where Bipin or somebody should have cut in and try to score himself rather than going wide. I think that lack of confidence that we can do it is still missing. But overall, it 3-0, like on papers look okay. It was bad, but overall, honestly, playing against some like big such kind of teams, it was not that bad playing, and that too, it's the
But could have been
debut
5-0
for
also,
them.
Could have been 7-0.
True, absolutely. Could have been definitely more. But what I'm saying that, they did well in patches, but the only missing part was that up front a good striker. Maybe they could have lost 4-1. Who knows? I'm not saying that. But they would have got something, and 2 goals, and the first penalty, if you see, has come from that error only. They lost the ball up front easily, which should have not been, which they should have kept the ball position easily with a foreign striker. They would have been able to keep those balls.
Renedy bhai,
Pandit,
because you,
yeah,
Renedy bhai,
yeah,
sorry.
brother. There is 2 ways of seeing it. Like see now there are few positives that we can take. I already mentioned Mauya, and there are and the young players. If you are going to give them a platform, we cannot criticize that in 2-3 years they will get better. Or there are ways, if you are playing to get a point, we cannot play this game. And these players cannot play right now, then if you are going to get a point. And the style of the game have to change. If you are playing large empire and if you are thinking playing out from the back, it's not going to happen right now. So, but then Indian fans with so many people supporting, so many people watching, we want to see something great, and which is not happening also. So yes, ये बच्चा लोग को टाइम देना पड़ेगा. अभी कल 6 भी खा सकता था, 7 भी खा सकता था, लेकिन we just have to keep playing. Or you have to bring better players. So there are 2 ways of saying it. मेरा ख्याल से, I don't know if you guys can, मेरा internet
I've understood. नहीं, आप इतनी जबरदस्त point बोल रहे थे, silence हो गया था यहाँ पे पूरा.
I have a question, by on the the third goal which came from a cutback from the right back, Sukur, I think, did back and then Turkey put it in the corner. Isn't that like, because you're talking about Apuya and the performance of maybe the midfield? Isn't that the kind of ball or the kind of space that these guys need to have the constant switched onness to be able to cut off?
Yeah, brother, that's why I said, the players have not played in highest level. This is the first time they are playing. अगर देखेगा how did they create it, अगर कैसा वो लोग का left से right पे गया है, अगर हम लोग का लड़का जो midfielder, the winger, because I'm 100% sure that अगर one side में अगर press कर रहा तो everybody has to go and press in.
Yes.
वो third goal especially अगर देखेगा, and already the left wing, it's too late to press. पहला वो जगह में नहीं था,
छोड़ गया था उसे.
हाँ, पहला वो जगह में नहीं था, वो कोच ने बोला होगा तुमको घुसना ही है, like we say as a coach कि एक side press करना पूरा, and he know that it's already 15-20 meters late होने के बाद भी कोच ने बोला है घुसो तो घुसो, and that's when the whole right flank was free. वहीं से counter होके गया है. अगर if the player were matured, अगर जैसा हम लोग कोच होके भी बोलता है, अगर if you are late, you first thing is you have to press, and second, if you are going to be late, goal is behind, boss. Goal है 50 yards पीछे, गोल है, गोल का तरफ भागो, not right. लेकिन just because बेचारा लोग ने गेम ज्यादा नहीं, मतलब हाई लेवल में खेला नहीं है, तो सडनली पूरा पुश किया है. कोच ने बोला हमको पुश करना है, पुश किया है, and halfway it was so easy for Al Shabab players to counter, वो सीधा straight away गया है. So these are small thing. अगर हम लोग ठीक है, हम लोग now all the coaches and the whole world is about playing from the back. Are we ready for that? No, not right now at this level. Are we ready to press high? Are we pressing together? We talk about Bipin. The striker, to play a striker position, Ishfaq has also played before as a striker before he turned into a midfielder. It's not easy. Bipin is a guy who loves to go on a flank with the space open. Bipin is not a guy कि अपना face अपना goal का तरफ करके and behind the defenders. Bipin will never play well over there. Half of the time Bipin is facing his own goal and he don't know where to run. Look at all the runs. And if we talk about Bikram also, the way Bikram were running, enthusiastic, Larka was running everywhere. But where are we running?
I like him, sir.
Changte. Yeah. But no doubt. That guy has got a guts. He can fight. But we have to create a place for him, either on the wing, but not as a striker where Bikram is going to, no. Because we need a good number 9 striker where he is going to hold the ball, make these people to come up. So that's why Ishfaq and Dada and everyone is saying that the striker we were missing. So yes, अगर ये दो बच्चा को अगर सामने में खड़ा कर दिया behind खेलने के लिए, that they can never play like that. So अगर press भी कर रहा है तो you have to press together. कल दिखाई पड़ रहा था 2-3 press कर रहा है, नहीं कर रहा है. So it was disjointed. But yes, when we have the ball, middle third में we were trying to play pass, and that was the only good thing about yesterday, that they were trying to play a pass. Nothing at the back, nothing at the front. In the middle they were trying. So and when we are pressing, we still have got a long way. The press was not good at all. That's why. अगर हम लोग गोवा का last time हमने AFC में देखा है कि the way Goa played, at least they were pressing together, and that we couldn't see yesterday. So now अगर ball के साथ thick भी नहीं कर रहा है, तो without ball में thick तो press करो. Do something nice, So this thing, they were trying to play a bit, they were trying their best, Like Ishfaq ने बोला, to play in Saudi Arabia, we know that. Saudi Arabia में हम लोग India 1-1 in first half, second half 6-1. So we have seen it's not easy in that weather. In the heat.
Is it imposing? Yeah. Is it imposing on the referees as well? जो बाहर से आते हैं.
It's very difficult. It's very
does it affect
difficult
decision making?
Yes. It's very difficult to play in Middle East. Middle East में जहाँ खेलो, देखो World Cup qualifying में भी with UAE, we beat UAE in India in Bangalore, and Baichung got a red card in first half, and we were playing 10 men, and they've got a penalty. So you in Middle East it's always difficult with the referee, and history देखिए आप Middle East का जितना refereeing का problem देखिए, when the Japanese or Koreans when they come over there, refereeing का decision देखिए, it's always difficult. It's जैसा आपने बोला कितना बार replay दिखाया, replay में भी once, उसके बाद दिखाना बंद कर दिया. So there are many things. There are many things involved. It's not easy to play in Middle East.
No, I think one of the reasons why they've kind of also reshuffled the form. Of course, the pandemic was a major point in this, but another reason why they've reshuffled the Champions League format this time around is to create that little bit of extra rivalry also between East Asia and West Asia, and kind of bring that to the fore. Because only in the next round now will we actually get to see some of the top clubs from the eastern part of the continent play against some of the western clubs. And India, of course, are now, although we are kind of central in that sense, we are now part of the western side of things. So it's going to be all the more tough for us going forward in the Champions League. I wanted to ask a follow-up question, if I may, Pandit, based on what...
Just basis so that it doesn't go. Renedy bhai ne point mara tha on imposing on referees and hostile environment. Off topic, यूनिवर्सिटी खेलने गए हुए दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी के लिए. हम लोग गए AMU, अलीगढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी. वहां पर रेनेडी भाई अलग किस्म की इम्पोजिंग थी. क्या कि जी सब चल रहा है, डिसीजन गलत गया, रेफरी सडनली देख रहा है, रॉकेट आया है हवा में, जी रॉकेट फेंके जा रहे हैं नीचे से, 3-4 रॉकेट गए. रेफरी ने उसके बाद गलत डिसीजन, नथिंग अगेंस्ट द होम टीम आफ्टर दैट. तो ये भी एक अलग किस्म का इम्पोजिंग.
हिस्ट्री देखो इंडिया का कितना पेनल्टी हम लोग मिडिल ईस्ट में कितना पेनल्टी दिया हुआ है. अगर इफ यू लुक एट द होल हिस्ट्री, अंडर 16 हो या अंडर 19 हो, अंडर 21 हो, मे बी बिकॉज हम लोग यहाँ पर पेनल्टी इजीली नहीं देता है. मे बी बिकॉज व्हेन वी प्ले इन एनीवेयर इन एशिया, और बिकॉज यूरोप में तो ज्यादा खेलता नहीं, एनीवेयर इन एशिया इंडियन टीम कैसा हारा, पेनल्टी में हारा, ज्यादातर पेनल्टी देता है. So now of course things are getting better in India also, so referee has to. मणिपुर जैसा जगह में तो I have seen, अपना एकेडमी मणिपुर का टॉप टूर्नामेंट खेल रहा था, और यहाँ पे येलो कार्ड निकले तो पब्लिक आके या ऑफिशियल आके उसको मारने का. So now how रेफरी तो घर भी तो जाना है रेफरी को. मणिपुर में अभी हुआ है, रिसेंटली अभी हुआ है मणिपुर में. We have a tournament सेमीफाइनल जो सीसी में जीता है, सीसी में इज द टॉप टूर्नामेंट, हम लोग सेमीफाइनल में टाई ब्रेकर में हराए, 6 मिनट्स दिया है इंजरी टाइम 6 मिनट। सो हम लोग 6 मिनट फ्यू सेकंड्स में जब गोल किया है तो बोलता है सीधा ऑफिशियल आकर, ऑफिशियल मतलब सपोर्टर्स आकर, जो अभी का सगोलबन टीम का ऑफिशियल आकर बोलता है कैसा तुमने खिलाया, कैसा गोल हुआ, कैसा खिलाया। एंड द मैच वाज स्टॉप फॉर 1 आवर। वो रेफरी हिला हुआ था तो रेफरी को घर भी तो जाना है। अगर वैसा जगह में अगर हम लोग, बच्चा लोग तो मारते जाएगा ना, अरे पेनल्टी तो देने वाला नहीं, मार दो। तो देन हम लोग जब जाता है बाहर में छूते ही गिर जाता है पेनल्टी। सो लाइक दिस इज अ हिस्ट्री फॉर 20-30 इयर्स। यहाँ पर रेफरी लोग का कोई सिक्योरिटी नहीं है। रेफरी यू हैव टू गिव अ प्रॉपर सिक्योरिटी, देन ओनली। अगर मेरे को भी रेफरी बना दे आज, अगर मेरे को लगे ये पब्लिक इधर आके मेरे को मार देगा तो कभी मेरा येलो कार्ड निकलेगा नहीं, रेड कार्ड निकलेगा नहीं। So that's the thing they play. Referee has to be, वो लोग को security देना पड़ेगा अगर to get better in the whole game. Things are getting better, but then in the state level, no way. जैसा आपने बोला है, रॉकेट आ जाएगा। यूनिवर्सिटी में तो क्या हाल होगा बोलो, स्टेट में ऐसा हाल है।
मतलब खेल रहे हैं सर, छुर्र सी एक आग से निकली। मैं ये क्या हो गया भाई? अलग ही जोन था। Any भाई, you want to ask something? Otherwise,
I want to ask a question just to follow up on what Ishfaq was saying. That he was not too impressed with Al-Shabab either, and the way they played. Overall, for me, it seemed the game, and right after this, I was watching the India women versus Jordan women. They were also
shift लगाई है भाई, 2 मैच देखे रात को, क्या बात है।
And actually, कल तो बहुत ज़्यादा फुटबॉल हो रहा था because the qualifiers for the Women's World Cup are also on. So France were also playing, all kinds of countries were playing. But anyway, so the intensity of this game, compared to all the other football that was going on, including watching the women's national team, senior national team play. And I was speaking to some of the coaching staff of the women's national team, and they were talking about how, the women are not ideally prepared in terms of conditioning. They haven't played for a couple of months. They're not in the best shape. There were question marks. These are 2 games actually that India should have won quite easily against first Egypt and then Jordan. But we made hard work of it, even though player for player, this is a rare scenario in which we're playing against one African team, one West Asian team, and player for player, we are a better side. But at least in the end, they managed to get those 1-0 wins on both fronts. I found the intensity levels really low in the game yesterday. It's not that the guys were not trying, but overall, and from both sides, I find the pace at which Al-Shabab were trying to control the ball was quite slow. The tempo was quite low. And the overall intensity of the game just seemed a bit missing. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
Yeah, I totally agree. I agree with Ishfaq also. Yesterday the intensity nahi tha. And if you see the players, the team game, yeah, Al-Shabab or what was the name of the team? Jo ATK Mohan Bagan 5 or 6-0 से हारा था when Habas was there. What was
the
भूत बना के बनाया था
उन्होंने। Those kind of opposition are class. Those kind of opposition are in different level. अगर if you see, जैसा इशफाक ने भी बोला है और एनी ने भी बोला है कि ये टीम वैसा तो नहीं लगा। अगर इधर बनेगा और बनेगा का स्पीड
अगर बनेगा तो
अब क्या बनेगा?
मुझे लगता है
बनेगा जैसा पेस में खेल रहा था, आई थिंक इट वाज टू स्लो। Good with the ball, तो अभी 40-45 years में भी people who have played in highest level वो शूट मारेगा ही मारेगा। लेकिन विक्रमजीत का और बनेगा का जो पेस था, विक्रमजीत is double faster, but it's only thing is हम लोग as a team how we are playing, that maturity वो नहीं आया अभी तक। लेकिन पेस के हिसाब से अगर ऐसा खेलेगा अल शबाब भी तो आगे नहीं जाएगा ये गेम खेलकर तो।
True.
If you see the game, I totally
From a coaching perspective, I've always seen this when we are playing against higher ranked opposition. I'm last on the game tactics, and then we'll just move on to one final thing. That if you saw, जब शबाब अटैक कर रहा है, स्टॉपर बनेगा, जो फुल बैक्स हैं वो मिडफील्ड में आ गए हैं आपके, जो उनके 3 आगे खेल रहे हैं अप डाउन ऐसे कर रहे हैं, राइट? तो कभी यहाँ है तो मतलब यहाँ पे लोड मारा तो वहां से उन्होंने ऑफ एकदम वाइड डाल दिया बंदे को, फुल बैक चले गया वहां पे। In that sense, from a team, because हम हर वक्त ऐसे ही खुलते हैं अगर आप देखो, और बड़े आराम से खुलते हैं। How do you stop it?
I think that's how you break the teams, like support play. They are like these teams, they know, they do it pretty well, like they are big and fast, stronger, like you have to give them, they are by nature only little bit stronger than us physically. So say sometimes they are not faster, but they bulldoze us. Like right back, left back, they take the advantage of that physical presence. And but there is nothing in special coaching manual for this. Like you have to defend in numbers also. You have to get back. If you have seen couple of times Al Shabab also, you see they were caught a couple of times, like napping also behind. But immediately you will see in second half they were all in numbers behind.
Recovery.
They were doing the same thing. In defending, it's very simple. You cannot have in defending anything, like you don't need skills. You just need more numbers behind. And then people doing, as Renedy Bhai said, I was listening to him. He said, like, when you are late, for example, what you are supposed to do. See, these are, even if when we were playing, if coach should not tell me, if coach tell me you have to go to press, but I know when to press and when to not. Like Renedy Bhai will know it. It's not coach tells us no, you have to every time. Coach means when they say it in the different time. Like when we are behind the ball and then go to press. When you are already late, what Renedy Bhai was saying, the best thing is the closest way. You have to find the closest way to reach the goal and stand there and then defend. You cannot go behind him because then he will go to the goal. So you have to find the shortest way to reach to the goal and then face the opponents, which might be an individual mistake. But I have been telling this from long time. From our grassroots level, we have to teach one thing our youngsters, which is a game management. Like game management, we are always very poor in game management. Renedy Bhai can be top coach, best coach. I can do coaching to players, but if they don't have personal football game management, I cannot help. Like sometimes you have seen top players, you have seen many top players in ISL also, how they invite foul because they know they don't have the pass available. What they do is they invite the foul. I'm just giving an example. That's the game management. One of the senior players who has really good game management is Sunil. Big example for youngsters. He knows when to put his body, or JJ, for example, was with Sunil when he was. They very well knew that what to do and when. I used to like JJ. One of the reasons when Renedy Bhai was asking, I think he was one of the best Indian striker facing opponent's goal.
Yes.
Like to hold ball, which Renedy Bhai was already telling, that we don't have right now. That neither we have that in the national team when some of our players were playing.
But don't forget Mr. Bhutia. Mr. Bhutia ka bara pichwad.
I swear on God, I was telling you, we were playing in I think Syria, and Mohan Bagan, we were playing in Syria, and Bhutia Bhai was the lone striker playing. And every time, whether air or ground ball, he will win a foul. Or he will flick the ball, being as the shortest person.
Against Syria, we scored a goal in the Nehru Cup final. Baichung ne pura lekar rakha hua tha, and then he laid off for Sunil, and Sunil ke baad NP shoot. So those kind of things that we need then.
We were in the stadium,
so that kind of striker we need somebody who can play by facing our own goal, which is like which is a difficult. As I played my striker also, it's not, you need to know how to use your body. And I think as Bipin, every time you saw him going to the wing, and that I'm not blaming him, and that is his plus point. That is where he flourishes. He does well. Maybe that as we all said, that they missed one striker who could have hold up front the balls for them.
Jaydeep sir, I'm taking it forward. I think we've done enough about the game. I'm talking Mumbai as a whole, because when this entire Sooty Group investment came in, right, which was I think 2 years back. So whenever it came in, बात तो ये हो रही थी यार, अब देखना इन्होंने ISL तो भर के डोमिनेट करना है, और उसके बाद अगर एशिया में जो हमारी वो जो चाहत है कि जी एशिया में जाके कुछ करें, तो सबसे पहले ये लोग करेंगे because they have the network, they have the funds, they have everything. In that sense, and I'm not looking at just 190 minutes in Saudi Arabia, I'm looking at the season gone by. Have they made a mess of things this season? And you suppose we could get wholesale changes again next season?
See, no team has the same season every time. Last time they played well. This time they couldn't do it. So you cannot blame somebody for making. They didn't mess up a thing. Yeah, they started well in the first 6 or 7 games. They had 17 points in the ISL, and then later they somehow they came down. But it happens to every team. And so when it comes to this season, if you talk about this particular season, I'm not going to blame anyone for this. It's not a mess. It's one of those bad seasons. It happens with every team.
So,
but
overall, when you're part of the decision making and you're saying क्या हुआ, एक टीम जो dominate कर रही थी, अब वो टीम कर ही नहीं पाई, प्लेऑफ में भी नहीं पहुंची, ऊपर से आप जाके आप एशिया में आप कंट्रोल ही नहीं कर पा रहे गेम, you're completely looking out of color there. So will you not say कि ये क्या किया हमने? हम
they will have to look back at what has happened to this season, certainly. But you have to divide into two sections. First section is the domestic section. That how it has become, what exactly went wrong in the domestic section, because they were one of the main contenders for the title, or one of the main teams in the tournament. Why they didn't finish in the first 4? They have to look into it in a different way. But if you come to the international section, I don't think if anybody expected more from them, then I have my doubts about that. See, if investment and having funds and everything would have been the ultimate thing in football, then Saudi Arabia or UAE would have won the World Cup many times. For that matter, it doesn't happen like that. Football is a different ball game altogether. So again, I am saying look at the two different way. From the international section, whatever they have done is all right, and whatever they are going to do is all right. At least I never expected more from them, and I don't expect more from them. Yes, at the domestic level, somehow things didn't go well for them in the season, but it happens with every team. In Renedy and Ishfaq has played for big teams, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, everybody. They know that there were times when they had terrific team, yet they could not do that much at the club level. Sometimes they have mediocre team, but they won everything at the club level. So it does happen in football. So I don't blame Mumbai management completely because of this. And Arjun, if you don't mind, I will leave. I have some program.
You have to head.
Yeah. If you don't mind, okay. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Dada. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Renedy bhai, I'll ask you. You were involved in the league, and I'll ask Ishfaq as well later. Were you surprised with the season they've had? And because वो जो sir कह रहे हैं, I get it. Okay, कि you win, but that happens. You're winning 2-3 seasons, then comes a lull. ठप. आपने बदला. आपने एक season जीता है. Second season, you build on it. You build on it. You're a team which has City Football Group, so you build on it. You have everything to build on it. In that sense, did they mess it up a bit?
Yeah, of course they did. If you see the last year, the team couldn't play well, and the players that they have signed, I think they have to spend more time. अगर देखेगा उसका आगे साल में when the Spanish coach was there, who have done really well in Goa, they were playing good football, and the way they were playing, and everyone could see that. And I was in East Bengal first year as assistant coach. The way they were playing, it was difficult to play, and I think that same team and the same coach, I feel they could do better. I really feel they will do better. But with the last year performance, अगर जाके अच्छा खेलना, I think it's a very difficult one. All due respect to the players and the coach, it's a very difficult one. Last year का performance लेकर Asia में अच्छा करना, and then that's also in Saudi Arabia, very, very difficult.
Anyway, return of Lobera, because that's the way this league works, bhai. I'm not saying anything about it, but if you look at the history of this league, chopping and changing is part of it. In the 7 seasons gone by. You're mute. I can't hear you.
I said, as is the case with any new league, I guess, chopping and changing is the way things go till, you have some kind of continuity, I guess. I'm really not sure. Yeah, it looked like Mumbai City were trying to have a longish term, medium term vision a couple of seasons ago. That kind of fell apart. But I think maybe that's a blip. I think they'll pick it up again. They've got some talented young players coming through. Like for example, this boy Vignesh who plays at left back. I think he's a good talent and one that can be built on. For example, even Lasenpa, maybe tomorrow. Like last night he didn't have a great game, but again a good, decent enough young talent to be built on. Now bringing in Changte and all these boys. But I think, I mean, going back to the evidence that was presented yesterday, you look at maybe two players who play kind of a very similar role position, Benega and apna guy Jahu, right? And the kind of impact both have on the game, whether it's defensively as well as going forward. So if that is the fulcrum of your team, then it's going to be very difficult. You know, you look at a guy like Murtada Fall, who's had probably a couple of really strong, solid seasons, both scoring goals as well as dominating defensively in India domestically. But when the same players go to play against stronger sides in Asia, then थोड़े बहुत पत्ते show हो जाते हैं. So it'll be interesting. I'm going to try and try and figure out what is going on with Mumbai City. There is a program.
छान बीन करने गया हमारा भाई बॉम्बे मरीन ड्राइव पे, हैं?
Because clearly among the empire that the City Football Group have created, Mumbai City are not really anywhere close to the top of that that list of clubs. So it'll be interesting to see. I mean, who they bring in. A couple of times, you saw some players coming in on loan, etc., that looked really good for the standards of the Indian Super League. If more of that can happen on a longer term, perhaps they can build something. But in any case, I don't think that kind of a model, City Football Group model, in the long term will have any real benefit for India and Indian football. So I'm not sure, if I really.
Ishfaq, what was the chatter in the circles? I'm not asking you to give me some inside scoop or anything, but here is a Mumbai team which has the backing of one of the biggest groups in world football. First season bang, they'd go do it. But then you just haven't been able to replicate that form. You've let go of your coach who's gone to a club in China, part of your group as well.
But I think, Arjun, if you see City Group, that's what they have coaches contracted with them, players with them. They do change coaches and give other coaches chance. And let's be a little bit, fair with the coach of the Mumbai City also. It's just he's completely new in his libero has been there, from 3-4 seasons already in India. They started very well, as Renedy Basu was saying, and as Dada was mentioned, they started really well. I think in 8 matches, they had 17 points or something like that. They were way ahead. I think by that time, we had only 3 points or 4. Maybe Renedy Basu had only 1. So we were just like struggling, they were looking like they will win the league easily, because the form they were in. And after they lost against us, and things just, like sometimes in football, the momentum changes in, with one match. And I remember they lost against us in Toda 3-1, and then that downfall started. But that doesn't mean they have a bad team. Believe me, they have really good Indian players with them. And now Changte and all that players they have brought in, they have a really good bench strength also. I think we should not judge them now. Maybe, we are coaches also. A coach cannot, it's very, very difficult, to repeat the same performance as your previous coach have done. As Renedy Basu already said, he was already here. He knew the league and he got the players by what he wanted that time when they were not the part of the City Group before, I think. So then this coach, you have to see next season. Maybe next season they will do better, and then only you can judge him. It's unfair to judge him now or the team. And again, I tell you, as Dada rightly said, nobody had, had a like we had like, okay, miracles do happen. They will do something in Champions League. We know the level. I think all the Indian teams who are right now going there, they have to, as Renedy said, for the Indian players like Apuya. I think Apuya was really good. He showed the maturity level, holding the ball and everything, and good game management he showed also. So I think we should, like all treat it like it's a really good experience for them for the future. It will only benefit, as Renedy also said, like maybe in after 2-3 years we will see them if we continue. Like 6 matches is a huge match. Many matches, sorry. 6 matches is a many matches for the players to get a good experience, especially the players who are playing in the first 11. तो मुझे लगता है कि ये एक अच्छी बात है. हमारे प्लेयर उससे अच्छे हो जाएंगे. नेशनल टीम के लिए भी फायदा है और क्लब के लिए तो ऑब्वियसली है. ऑल ऑफ देम आर रियली यंग. ऑल ऑफ देम आर रियली यंग एंड 6 मैच अगर खेलेंगे तो और ज्यादा अच्छे हो जाएंगे वो लोग.
ठीक है सर. आई थिंक ये एक अच्छी चीज है क्योंकि अभी
अगर एक साल में हम लोग we can figure out a calendar also again properly, so that the benefit of playing these matches during the course of an actual season can come back and give some whether we win or not in Asia, at least it can have some positive
back in the domestic season
league as well as the national team. Anyway, I think we should also call it quits on this show because we have 5 more games to talk about. So, and it's going to be much.
ये सही. हाँ, actually 5 more games to talk about. It's going to be a good 2 weeks watching your team and what they're doing amongst the best in Asia. भाई ये चाहत
कैसे लगे?
जबरदस्त लग रहे हैं सर. आज तो साउंड मतलब टॉप क्वालिटी लग रही है. मैंने एक फिल्म देखी है ड्यून अभी Amazon पे. अभी आप वहाँ के ना एक वो न्यू एज सिपाही लग रहे हो आप कि आप आए हो बस लेजर गन लेके मारने. This is really nice. Renedy भाई तो चले गए, but Renedy भाई will be joining us of course. 5 more games, 5 more show. 5 और शोज करेंगे. आप सबका साथ हो तो भाई इससे ज्यादा भी करेंगे. मोहन बगान के भी मुकाबले हैं. तो बहुत कुछ है. ऐसा नहीं है कि लल पीरियड चल रहा है.
Probably we should look at what the women's national team have done in the last couple of games and talk about that a bit as well.
ठीक है भाई, डन. Ishfaq,
thank you guys
for joining us. Renedy bhai, thank you. Jaydeep sir, thank you, and thank you to all the people who joined us on the chat. We now will meet after Mumbai's second game. Thank you so much for watching. Good